Somewhere along the way, you were taught that starting over was something to be ashamed of, that changing your mind meant you were weak, that walking away from something you had already invested in was wasteful, that the person who stays, who endures, who pushes through no matter what, that is the strong one. That is the one worth admiring. But nobody told you the other side of that story. Nobody told you about the people who stayed too long in the wrong job and lost years of their life being miserable. Nobody told you about the ones who kept forcing a relationship that had already ended in every way except officially. Nobody told you about the dreams quietly abandoned because someone decided it was too late to begin again. Starting over is not failure. Starting over is one of the bravest things a human being can do. Think about what it actually takes to look at your life honestly and say, this is not working. This is not who I am anymore. This is not the direction I want to go. And then to make the terrifying decision to step away from the familiar, the comfortable, the known, and walk towards something uncertain, something new, something that has no guarantees. That is not weakness. That takes an extraordinary amount of courage. And yet, we make people feel small for it. We raise eyebrows when someone leaves a stable career to pursue a passion. We whisper when someone walks away from a long relationship. We quietly judge the person who moves to a new city, reinvents themselves, sheds the skin of who they used to be, and steps into, something completely different. But what if we celebrated that instead? What if we looked at the person starting over and said, look at them. Look at how honest they were with themselves. Look at how much they respected their own life to refuse to keep living one that no longer fit. Because here is the truth that nobody talks about enough. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. You are not even the same person you were 1 year ago. You have grown. You have changed. You have learned things about yourself that you didn't know before. Your values have shifted. Your priorities have evolved. The things that once made you happy may no longer fulfill you, and that is not a problem, that is growth. The problem is when we force ourselves to keep living a life that was designed for a version of ourselves that no longer exists. Imagine wearing the same clothes you wore at 10 years old. They wouldn't fit. They wouldn't reflect who you are. And no matter how much you loved those clothes, no matter how many memories they held, you would have to let them go to make room for something that actually fits the person you've become. Your life is the same way. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to say, that chapter is over, and I am ready to begin a new one. It doesn't mean the old chapter was wrong. It doesn't mean the time you spent was wasted. Every experience, every relationship, every version of yourself that you've outgrown, it all served a purpose. It all brought you here, to this moment, to this awareness, to this readiness. And now it's time. Starting over doesn't mean erasing everything. It means building on everything you've learned and creating something that is more aligned, more authentic, more truly you than anything that came before. It means giving yourself permission to want different things than you used to want, to dream different dreams, to choose a different path without apologizing for the one you're leaving behind. So if you have been standing at the edge of a new beginning, too afraid to jump, this is your sign. You are allowed to start over at any age, at any stage, at any point in your life. You are allowed to leave what no longer serves you. You're allowed to outgrow people, places, careers, beliefs, and even old versions of yourself. You're allowed to say, I deserve more than this. I am capable of more than this, and I am ready to go find it. The blank page valid in front of you is not something to fear. It is the greatest gift life can give you. A chance to begin again, wiser, stronger, more yourself than you have ever been. Pick up the pen and write something beautiful.